Welcome, everyone, to When Was That Podcast? A podcast that reviews Who Are These Podcasts, which is a podcast which reviews other podcasts. If you can keep up with that without having to write it down, you're smart enough to listen to this episode. Thank you. My name is Mr. Radtober. I've personally never gone back to listen to old episodes. I'm recording this in July 2024. The very first episode that I found on Spotify was posted in March 2016. This podcast is almost 10 years old now.
10 years long, 10 years strong.
As we've seen, 10 years can make or break someone. Just ask Opie and Anthony. So I thought it would be interesting to go back and see how Carl has changed as a reviewer. 10 years is a long time for a broadcaster.
Oh, 10 years long, 10 years strong.
When Was This Podcast is a show where I sit down with a blank piece of paper and I take notes, and I have my notes, and we are going to review my notes for this episode. Episode number 1, Totally Married. Who Are These Podcasts? March 2016. This is When Was That Podcast? July 2025.
I honestly wasn't sure. I'm listening through. Wait, is this in the comedy category? Because it seems like, I found it in the parenting or parenting and relationships or something category.
Right.
I thought it was like.
So for the first 10 minutes, they just kind of droned on. You know, Carl whines about vocal fry. So we are going to. I'm gonna pull some clips, but there's not a whole lot here to comment about. It's pretty flat. The first 10 minutes of the show sound exactly like current WATP if current WATP were to review a, married couples podcast.
But I do like that they have E! Online, USA Today, and Los Angeles Magazine. That's a pretty far drop.
Because you know the podcast is going to get mushy. It's a podcast for women. It's a podcast for a certain demographic. And Carl, nor Kevin, nor I, and probably you as well, we're not in the market as women who want mushy, feel-goody content. So in this respect, it's WATP hasn't changed one bit.
That's not one of those ones you see by the bus stop. It's in the little fucking little cans, that you can take out. You take out 72 of them at a time when you want.
The people who write for that magazine are also called bloggers. They're not actually
Yes.
writers.
If you took Kevin out of it, you could drop in Trucker Andy. You could drop in. I bet you that you could overlay any one of these hosts just giving one-liners over the place of Kevin, and this clip could be released as a brand new episode this year.
We always like to start off the show playing the clip that we think, just a short clip that sums up the podcast that we listen to best. And
here's my clip. It's actually from the end of the episode, but here's my clip that sums up this episode of WATP.
Yes.
I see this as the bar is so low in podcasting that we can't help but succeed.
So let's move on. At 10 minutes, 25 seconds, they mention a previous review. An episode 0000.
So we did, the last episode that we did had a female co-host on it, and she was not bad to look at.
So this isn't actually the very first episode, which isn't particularly surprising. It might take a few episodes before someone feels comfortable releasing an episode, but obviously, even though this is episode 0001, this isn't the first episode. It's the same podcast for the next 9 minutes. At 19:25, Carl's mic sucks. Seems that Kevin is recording this episode.
It was weird to me. The whole thing.
I actually think Andy was taking the advice part of the show a lot more seriously than Elizabeth. If you noticed, the gay gentleman who was having the issue with his partner not coming out to his family yet, Andy was getting very serious about that. He really wanted to.
Something I've noticed this whole episode, though, after almost 20 minutes, Carl's audio quality changes. And it sounds like they're recording this over Skype. I'm just commenting. I'm just pointing out an observation. It sounds like Kevin is recording this locally on his end, and Carl is Skyping in because his audio sounds like shit. Let's go back to 21 minute. This is the earliest mention of an Opie and Anthony character. At 21 minutes, Rich Voss is mentioned.
It's way too comfortable. You think about like Rich Voss's podcast, My Wife Hates Me. That I'd rather hear a couple that was on the verge of divorce than these shitheads.
Let's see, next time, Mark. 2140. They play a game.
Yeah, fuck you, Kevin.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Fuck
All
me.
right, so I want to play a game with you real quick.
Yes.
The game is called Fill in the Blank.
So this is actually interesting because this is ostensibly the very first episode, and Carl and Kevin play a game. That sounds awfully familiar.
If you play the Fill in the Blank clip, it will end, and I want you to produce what's that next word.
This sounds like a fun game. This is a game that we could play someday, maybe. But all the answers will just do it.
All right. Okay, I like this.
This podcast might be just an unbelievable
Cure for AIDS?
So Kevin's answer to this game is Cure for AIDS. Not a bad line. I enjoyed it. It was funny the first time. Not so much the second time.
No. It's certainly not going to cure AIDS.
Sure, it's not going to cure AIDS. Cure AIDS in here.
If by cure AIDS you mean...
Do cure AIDS? Should be called Cure AIDS. Like, that's Cure AIDS.
And at 2240, Kevin derails the show to talk about Doctor Who.
It's funny, and this is completely not fucking related to anything that we've even talked about, but I happened to be on Facebook yesterday, and they have that little news ticker on the side, and it said, this is how much of a fucking nerd I am. It said that Charlie Sheen acknowledges the doctor who cured him of AIDS, or something like that.
Yeah, the quack, right.
And I just read Doctor Who and got excited. That's like I thought it was something to do with Doctor Who. I'm like Charlie Sheen's going to be in Doctor Who? What?
They derailed the show to deliver the line, Charlie Sheen is going to be Doctor Who?
It's fucking embarrassing, dude.
Yeah, it's really...
I can't believe you just told me that.
I can't believe you guys left this in the podcast.
Funny. He's the new doctor?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, holy shit. See, he is winning.
Doctor Who with an attitude. No, you know what I think is funny is you're going back to your earlier scenario. You've invented a product that cures AIDS, and you need to come up with a marketing gimmick to get people to use it.
2 minutes later, we're still repeating the Cure for AIDS joke. I have here as of 2350, I have counted between them 13 mentions of Cure for AIDS.
You have blood flying out of your eyeballs. Cure AIDS may not be right for you. If you
For fuck's sake, at 24 minutes, they're still talking about Cure for AIDS.
ever use transdermal mesh, transvaginal mesh.
All right. So we've totally gotten off topic, and I
Yes.
think it's because this show was really boring.
As I mentioned earlier, towards the end of this episode, we have two excellent ISOs. One is at 24 minutes, and the other is at 25:15.
Off topic, and I
Yes.
think it's because this show was really boring.
That's the clip that sums up this whole episode. It's actually a little boring. Totally Married is a boring podcast, for sure. There's only about 10 minutes of listenable content here. And, of course, every grace should be granted here. It's episode number 1, ostensibly. But, this was a bit of a hard listen. Because it's a lot of Carl whining about vocal fry. It's a lot of Carl saying, well, it's a woman in a podcast and she has vocal fry. Well, okay, in 2016, that might have been a bit of a novelty, but this is what Carl still complains about to this day. He's not even wrong about it. No doubt, no doubt it's fucking annoying. But, after 10 minutes and 15 minutes of Carl just repeating himself about vocal fry, repeating himself about how ditzy women can be. Yeah, it got a little rough. It got a little rough. So, as I said, we have one more ISO at 25.
All we have to do is make a podcast that sucks as bad as
WATP.
and we too could be on Earwolf.
Well, you know what? We're on our
I think I just found my ISO for my podcast.
We are on our way.
So
Yes.
I see this as the bar is so low in podcasting that we can't help but succeed. That's
As long as you have a format, and this is indeed the thesis for When Was This Podcast. As long as I have a format, and as long as I sit down and I take some notes, this is indeed a show. Because that's all it takes to have a podcast nowadays. All you need is a format. Thank you for listening to When Was That Podcast. Until next time, I am Mr. Radtober.